everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here with a weekly twin flame reading for the week of April 3 to 9. Okay, so before I start, I'd like to thank you for all your likes, your subscribes, your comments, and I'm honored for your asking me for assistance to be able to help you on this journey. I get a lot of feedback. I know I don't ask for reviews, but so all the feedback from customers, from clients, very heartwarming. Maybe one day I'll put them up. But for now, because I'm the only one that can read it, thank you so much. Okay, so anyway, and for those who have emailed me through the website asking my opinion and this and that, I would love to reply, but I'm really pressed for time. So I have to focus my energy. I have to give priority to those who book for a session, because work, this and the other things that Spirit is asking me to do, to take care of in my life, I have to give priority to that. Now, if you do want insight on something and you have a problem, and because when you ask for my opinion, and I'm not channeling your higher self, all you're getting is my opinion without the channel. And really, so what I would suggest is that if you have something that you want insight on, is that do get an insight reading, because there it's detailed. You only need one question, your main questions. There are other people that ask a whole bunch of questions, but you only need one question, and most of the time all the other questions will be answered, especially the follow-up questions, in the main spread. Okay, so that's going to help. And besides, that is channeled. The message is there. They're not from me, the person, the human. Okay, so anyway, I've already prayed over and dealt out the cards, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Eight of Cups, and this is indolence. So this is saying that some of the twins in the collective, this is because this is ruled by the Lord of Abandonment. Okay, so this is like abandoned success, and I don't know why that's there, but I think I do, because sometimes, like I said, it's the past 2 weeks I've been seeing messages in the boards that they've given up on the journey and all that. So this would just be the energy reflecting that. But for others, for others in the collective, this is heightened pleasure. Okay, this is finding pleasure from a higher perspective, because here we have the 12-pointed star, and that is 3 signifying heaven and 4 signifying earth. So that's a merger of heaven and earth. And because of the heightened perception, you're able to manifest more whatever you like. See, the 6 cups, it's in the position of an inverted triangle, signifying receiving. And because you are aware of that, because this is Scorpio rebirth related to the sun. Okay, and from that position, the perspective is exalted. And this is really basically the spirit of those who have heeded the message of Spirit last week to continually be in a state of appreciation and gratitude. They're now reaping the rewards of that, because more blessings are coming in. Okay. And here, see, we have the rebirth and regeneration cards, the Eon. And this is actually, the serpent here in this vessel is actually Horus, the child of Isis and Osiris. So we see the flames of creation, I wouldn't say fermenting, this Ouroboros, which signifies Horus. We have the Orphic eggs here. One has already sprouted. And we see that this rebirth will be going through phases. You can see all the phases of the moon there. And the energies of fire being harnessed for this. And what will be the rebirth here? We have the High Priestess, and especially now, there's a special activation on the 4th of April. And this is to help the Divine Feminine with her self-worth. Because you cannot come into full goddess mode, so to speak, which is represented by the High Priestess here, if you feel that you're not worthy. So that's a big block for you attaining this. And for a lot of twins, when I do readings for them, most of the time this card comes up. Because we are the embodiment of the Divine Feminine. And we're supposed to spread it with others. That's why we're the High Priestess. And yeah, that was also one of my past lives. I was a High Priestess in Atlantis. That's why my the crystals really resonate with me when I use them. Anyway, those are the energies of the spread. So let's go on to the Divine Masculine, which would be this side, and the Divine Feminine, which would be this side. First card we have for the Divine Masculine is the Hanged Man. And this implies a voluntary sacrifice to gain wisdom, because this is represented by Odin, okay? And Odin offered up his right eye in order to drink from Mimir's well, which contained a lot of wisdom. So the repository of wisdom. You would gain wisdom if you drank from that well. But she required a toll, okay? And that was the eye. And he willingly gave it and hung himself suspended for 9 days in a tree. And here, see, we see this figure here. And it's in the form of a triangle, an upright triangle, right? And this is saying that in this position, he's able to see things from a different perspective, because he gave out his right eye, and that controls the left brain, which is logic processes. So for the moment, for the Divine Masculines, that very analytical part of themselves, how they think, especially about this relationship, it's being suspended so that his other senses kick in, so that he can see from a different perspective. Because if he lets logic rule, then all the things, especially twin flame relationships, most of the time there are gaps when it comes to age, okay? Then he'll be thinking, this can't happen. She's too young. This can't happen. She's too far. This can't happen. I've already built a family and everybody knows I'm married to this and that karmic. But now, because he's suspending that for the moment, and seeing through the other senses, through the eyes of wisdom. That's why there's this eye here. He's accessing a different take on things, on why what is seemingly very implausible, illogical, okay, could actually make sense. So anyway, we'll find more about that in the clarifying cards. And next here for the Divine Masculine, we have the Seven of Wands, and this is the Valor card. And here we have the dragon in a battle with a tiger. There's the tower here, and it's on fire. So this represents opposing forces. Usually it's an internal conflict with between the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine, within the Divine Masculine, okay? Because we have aspects. If he's let's say, because I'm biologically female, but I also embody the Divine Feminine. But since I have to balance, I have aspects of the Divine Masculine within me that I have to balance. That's required, remember? So here, he's in the process of balancing that. That's one thing, that's internally. Okay? The other message is that because he is currently balancing, courage or valor is required to thwart anyone who is in opposition to him seeing the truth, seeing from a different perspective. And these days, even on the larger global scale, there are lots of, I would call them saboteurs, really. Saboteurs of the truth. It's this dark cabal trying to maintain their foothold on an enlightened society. So that would be the macrocosm on a global scale. But when you well, I would say zoom in, when you go down to the smaller scale, and let's say here it's in this in the Divine Masculine, how that would apply to him is that he may have friends, or even their karmics would be opposed to him changing the status quo. But that would be inevitable because he is changing internally. But of course, since that wisdom, that knowledge is rocking the boat, that's why there is opposition here. Okay? And the Divine Masculine needs courage to withstand that opposition. Because here, the next card we have for him is the Eight of Discs, Prudence. And here we have this lantern. There is a crown inside that lantern, and again, the 12-pointed star. Remember that earlier I said that the 12-pointed star represents heaven merging with earth for manifestation. Okay, that's inside the lantern. This lantern is glowing, and you can see the eye there, the all-seeing eye. Okay, so inside the lantern we have the eye, the 12-pointed star, and the crown. This lantern is generating heat that is needed for these eggs to hatch. Now, because it's generating heat, it has to be calibrated at a certain temperature. Because if it's too hot, that's going to boil the eggs. If it's too cool, then the embryos inside the eggs won't be able to come to life. And this is a time wherein the divine masculines are accessing what they know, what they see, what they want to manifest. And they're using that. It's like their inspiration. But they know at the same time that prudence is required. Prudence and patience, being careful, being deliberate in their actions. And their actions are guided when it comes to coming into union with the divine feminine. However, they do realize that it takes time and care. Okay. And the last card we have for the divine masculine is the Prince of Cups. And this Prince of Cups, he's the heir of water. And this is applying reason to get through all those emotions that he's feeling. And here we have the ego, and the ego is very closely associated to the sun. A lot of sun deities, they use the ego as their symbol, because the ego represents renewal, life, the strength of the sun. And here, this ego, you can see he's carrying fish with just bare bones. But because this ego, the Prince of Cups, he's on a chariot, and he's above him is his ego, representing transformation caused by illumination. The ego knows that, look, the prey that he's gotten, it's already bare bones. That's why this prince is on a search. He's also ruled by Scorpio, which represents, again, death. That's why there's here. But there is rebirth because of the sun. But the thing is, this Prince of Cups, although he is very desirous of showing his emotions, because this is in the sign of Scorpio, he's still very secretive about it. And this would be the reason, because he's taking care of waiting for this to be ripe, to be mature. And the reason he's being secretive about all that, despite his being intensely passionate towards his beloved counterpart, is because there's still opposition to be taken care of. Well, not really, but to be vanquished. That's external opposition. It's very strong. You see this tower here. Okay, so let's pick clarifying cards to see what these cards pertain to more in detail. Okay, so for the Hangman, so actually the Divine Masculine is being very smart about this and being very careful. So, I mean, if you were in contact with your Divine Masculine, and you do know that he is going through these, and that he is trying to get through that opposition, because he is changing the status quo, then you would understand. And the same goes for those who are not in contact, who are still in separation with their Divine Masculines. Know that, because last week, remember, the reading was that things are happening, although you can't immediately perceive that. And here again is a continuation of that theme, which explains why you can't perceive it. He's keeping it under the radar for the moment, Because, you know, if this opposition goes full force, then that's just going to be additional bumps in the road. Okay, so for the Hanged Man, okay, see, this is recognition. So this is saying that because he's no longer thinking with just his head, and that would be just on a 3D level, this is recognition, this is a medal. So the divine masculines are have leveled up from how they perceived things before. And the Seven of Wands. Okay. See here, this is inheritance, death. Meaning, see, this is what the opposition is about. What this person will leave behind, especially if they're in karmic situations and they've had families, wives, or whatever that was in that karmic situation. That's what the opposition is about, especially because you're rocking the status quo. What he's going to leave behind. And for the Eight of Discs, okay, this is messages, this is the comet, fast messages regarding here, that they have to be careful. So this is actually Spirit's message to them. And their message to the divine feminine, their counterparts. Why he has to be careful, deliberate. And for the Prince of Cups, okay, this is negotiations, networking. And what this is saying is that because the divine masculine cannot be fully out with it, but he's stewing inside with intense passion, even if on the outside it doesn't seem like it. Spirit is saying that he really needs to have an outlet, so get with like-minded people. And it's actually very encouraging to hear that there are a lot of divine masculines now. I see more of them in groups, more of them. Sometimes they put out YouTube videos themselves, and really, that's good. It always makes me happy to see awakened divine masculines, because it's really our responsibility to help awaken each and every twin to get them to their full potential. So what is Spirit's advice? Here we have the Ten of Earth, and the Ten of Earth for the divine masculines, this is saying that, because it's just reassuring them that a phase in their lives has come to completion, and that he should not be worried or the coming changes in this next phase that he's about to enter, if he hasn't entered it already, to not be daunted by those changes, to keep going ahead, because here success is assured for him. And this, in order to attain this, he has to be truthful to himself and remove that mask. And this is saying eventually, okay, to bring it to conclusion, because here, remember, he's keeping it under wraps, but for very strategic purposes, to actually ensure success. But for it to come to conclusion, eventually he has to take off that mask and to have confidence that these changes, this new phase in his life, will bring him abundance, and to not second guess himself. Okay? So anyway, that's for the divine masculine. Let's move on to the divine feminine. The first card we have is the devil card. And here, now this is not a scary card in this deck, okay? Because here we have the devil, and there's a strand of DNA. The devil's holding the rings of Saturn, which represents, because Saturn is the disciplinarian. So that represents the lessons. There's an hourglass there, and you see that they're bound. Now, the devil is a very worldly card. And usually, well, there's a saying by Joseph Campbell that goddesses that are suppressed create devils. And really what that means is that if you keep suppressing your inner goddess in you, well, the first thing that you're going to meet there is your shadow self. So the thing is, don't suppress it. You were brought here on this earth to be an ambassador of unconditional love, to be the embodiment of the divine feminine. And I know each of us has personal goddesses or ascended masters that we feel most close to, okay, that we can call on. So tap into that, embody that. And that's why, that's why my RASHEEBA healings are very effective, because I embody an aspect of Isis. So there, whomever divine goddess that you closely resonate with, then go with that. Don't suppress it. Because here, this is an appreciation for all things worldly. Again, it's that theme of the divine feminine being in a state of gratitude. Okay? This is an appreciation for all things that are existing on this planet. Because here, that's why the devil is also called Lucifer, because he's also the light bringer. Lucy's light. And in order, that's why the devil shows you either your shadow self, your addictions, things that you have to go through in order to get to the light. That's why they're called light bringer. Of course, because of all the horror movies and all that, sometimes, while the general consensus is that having the devil card is bad, but it depends on the spread. But in this particular case, if it's not that you are particularly obsessed with, because this could also indicate an obsession with, it's like, this is like a blind passion or desire, movement towards your yet unlived potential. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes the divine feminines, when you say blind passion, that's just being obsessive, taking everything that's available for you to ascend. But even if you do that, there's still divine timing. Okay? So you will ascend at the rate that you're supposed to. And the same goes with your twin. You will get together with your twin when everything is in the right proportions. But anyway, that's just an example. Okay? But in this particular card, it's the light bringer, meaning, and an appreciation for all things worldly. The next card we have is the Prince of Discs. This is the heir of Earth, and this is closely connected to Taurus. And again, this is the divine feminine, persevering, going forward. This is Taurus and Virgo. Okay, so very hard working, trying to manifest her dreams. See here, we have the bull, and in the cult of the bull before, it was considered very important because they, well, of course, they sire calves, which is needed for sustenance, but they also plow the fields. They break the earth in order for the earth to be seeded. And when it comes to our twin flame journey, that's what the divine feminines, well, both twins, are supposed to be doing. But the divine feminines, they're planting the seeds. They're plowing the earth. So they're working hard at a twofold mission. Their personal success in material matters, whether that be career, whether that be towards financial stability or greater health. And then on the multidimensional mission scale, seeding those who have not yet awakened with thoughts that will lead them to their own ascension journey. Because not everybody we encounter are twins. Others think that this is just a curiosity, but regardless if they're a twin or not, they're still accountable and responsible for their own soul evolution. And a lot of divine feminines are helping those people around them, those people who are close to them, in getting more conversant with this topic so that they, it's like training wheels. You guide them, and then later on, they can figure things out for themselves. The next card we have for the divine feminine is the Knight of Swords, and this is the fire of air. And again, this is very, very a determined energy to move forward. You can see here the knight and his horse. While the direction of the wind is opposite, he's going forward. In fact, the wind is so strong that this horse, his head is turned. So, this is going through whatever life throws at them with so much passion, so much dedication, which is good because they'll eventually get to where they're going. But sometimes in their tenacity to get to where they're going, sometimes the force, whether this be the force of the energies you're downloading, the force of this epiphany that you've just had on, because there are stages, even when you're a twin, when you just realize that you're a twin, you're trying to figure things out, and then there's one day it clicks, and sometimes you get stunned, just like this horse. It's like, what? How did I not get that? And then you realize that it's really easy, but it's difficult, and yet it's easy. It doesn't have to be hard, but you have to keep plowing through. See here, keep going to your destination. So that's this energy. And then the last card we have for the Divine Feminines is the Three of Discs. And this implies continued work. Here we have the symbols for sulfur, mercury, salt. Okay? These three elements, they're the building blocks. And see, that's why we have this DNA spiral here. Because we're continually changing our DNA. We've been activated since December to 12-strand DNA, 24-strand DNA. So we're changing body chemistry from within, the basic building blocks. And here, this creation, this change is precipitated by a lightning bolt. Again, energies of fire precipitating that change. And you can see here that there are bricks. And on top of the bricks, there's a trowel. And in olden times, only the master mason, the master foreman of the masons, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the supreme foreman of when they were doing this building, only he would hold the trowel because he would be inspecting if the bricks were laid out in perfect form, perfect shape, you know. So it's like he was quality control. Anyway, so it's really building on something to get to something better. So that's the continued thing of the divine feminines. And see, here you have that spark fire. And which reminds me, because the activating these, we have new chakras, and that's what happens in an advanced RASHEEBA session. It actually cements these changes of your new DNA. Okay? And it activates your divine light. So do consider that. I'll have a video after this. But see, that's why it's very necessary for fire to begin that spark, to begin that change, to continue laying the building blocks. And what is Spirit's message? Here we have abundance. Oh, why did I open this? I still haven't picked up clarifying cards. But anyway, so here. We'll read this. Abundance for the Divine Feminine. And it's no wonder she's working so hard on the material plane to get everything in place. And see, this is a good energy working on it, because it's like after understanding the concepts, so it's like your basic school curriculum, okay? First it's concepts, and then you have to access, get to 5D, and then from there, once you have made contact, you are able to access your 5D self, your higher self, your guides, and you're anchoring, you're downloading all the energies. Look, this is the time wherein the divine feminines are bringing it down to earth, anchoring it. And because it's in how do you say this, the infinity sign, okay? Right now, remember, before the feminines were up there, the divine masculines were very firmly grounded. The divine feminines needed grounding. Look, now we're bringing it to earth while our divine masculines are ascending. Okay? So when that happens, because it goes again in a spiral, then we meet in the middle, and that's union. Okay? So here, that's why this is a good thing that the divine feminines are being very grounded, bringing whatever downloads they have, whatever knowledge they have about the twin flame journey down to earth. And in the process of doing so, they're reaping all sorts of abundance for themselves, tangible and intangible. See, we have this gold dragon here, overseeing, and you know dragons. I don't know if you've watched The Hobbit, Smaug, the dragon, okay? If you see his hoard, then you would understand, okay? So, because dragons like hoarding gold, precious things, okay? So, their abundance coming to the divine feminines. Now let's look for the clarifying cards for the divine feminine. Okay. For the devil card, this is negotiations. Again, you see that spiraling of the DNA, awakened kundalini, messages. So this is actually negotiations. So negotiations about material things, whether that be career, transactions, lines of business, ongoing negotiations. Prince of Discs. Okay. See, this determination, this continued perseverance will make, because this is castle, this is the home. It's like the divine feminine is building the foundation for their union, making it, fortifying it, making it stronger by tapping into that energy. The Knight of Swords. Okay. See, this is a transition, changing from the moon to the sun. So in a sense, because here moving at very fast, energetic pace, getting to their destination, and changing, adapting. This is be adaptable to circumstances, but keep going. If the wind, the gusts of the wind are strong, keep on going still, because you can do it, despite the fluctuation in whatever energies that you need to deal with at the moment. So this doesn't apply to those who've given up, okay? I mean, they have to find their way back. Giving up doesn't not make them a twin. They're still a twin. But they're a twin that's, remember, because this is the, it also represents unlived potential. So they have to get out of this energy, because this is what symbolizes unlived potential. You have a boat. It can't sail. There are cups. It can't hold water. So what you were built for, you're actually not doing. Okay? So anyway, for the Three of Discs, okay. See, this is the sea. The sea, and so this is emotions, this building blocks. So continue to work, because this is this is just saying that when it comes to the divine feminine, it's their emotions that are very volatile. So continue to work on that. Of course, aside from other matters, general, continue your work. And let's pick a card for both, okay, to connect the energies. Wow, lovely. You have the Lover's card. And here, see, we have the winged eagle, the white eagle, and the red lion locked in a loving embrace. And we see here, because this is representative of Horus, okay, that's what you're trying to birth, the egg here. Okay, that's the Orphic egg. You can see the snake, the rising kundalini, and this is surrounded, this picture is surrounded by the honeycombs, signifying their abundance, honey, sweetness. There's the sword of truth here, and it's set into the stone. So while it is, oh yes, because last week I know a subscriber said that the word I was looking for was impaled. Thank you. Yes, impaled was the word I was looking for. Anyway, what this is saying as a connecting energy is that all this is happening because of the love that exists between twins. And just continue to do so because that's elevating the union. Divine feminines are on the right track, with the exception of the lost ones, okay, who should find their way back into the fold. And then, look at this. Abundance here, 10 of earth, abundance, but as a major trump, and we have the lovers connecting them. So, all these messages, these are all contributing to this union. So, all is good. Just keep going. Support your twin. He needs more support in this in order to overcome opposition. And if it's not support that you can give to your twin, then give your compassion and understanding. Okay, so that's what I have for you. And for those who would like to cement the changes for their DNA, activate divine light and their divine union, and raise up their kundalini, their fire energies, do consider getting a RASHEEBA healing session. I have a video at the end of this, so I'll leave you with that. Okay, bye.